everybody, it's Safi and Marco, Dish Out on the Movies, and today we are reviewing Home Alone 3, 1997. This had different actors. In fact, I don't think there was one person who had been in any of the other movies in this, unless it was an extra or something, but no, none of the big stars, the main characters, none were identical to any of the two previous ones.
You mean Macaulay Culkin wasn't in this movie?
No, it's probably just as well.
Damn it.
And in fact, this was a lot better than I expected. When I heard that they were making this movie, I was like, just groaned and went, what are they going to talk about? They're going to talk about Kevin again? Where are they going to go to? Brazil or something?
Kevin gets lost on Epstein Island.
That isn't funny. Anyway, Alex Lentz is the actor who plays Alex in the movie, who is left all alone more than once. And like Kevin, he is also 8. However, unlike Kevin, this neighborhood's houses are closer together, and his neighbors can look in on him if need be. Also, this time around, Alex has to stay home because he has the chicken pox, which in the 90s, the vaccine had just come out. My older son missed getting his by a couple of months and caught it, unfortunately.
Really?
Having it myself, it can be pretty miserable, and the boy did not act in the movie. The acting did not reflect that he was affected at all, which I thought that was a flaw, because he was running around like he was diagnosed with it, but didn't have any symptoms. And it's really, if anybody's ever had it, it's not very fun. Anyway, this story was about just one stolen item, not casing people's houses for multiple things, but just one thing. It was as small as an Apple cell phone that a group of thieves had stolen to sell to a rogue foreign government. It had the ability, the thing, to enable a missile to do anything, which is extremely dangerous. At the airport, Alex's neighbor, Mrs. Hess, her shopping bag got mixed up with the thieves' shopping bag because they looked identical, and theirs contained the important missile part. It was hidden in a brand new boxed remote control car. Mrs. Hess, of course, brought it home by accident. The thieves figured out that the person who took the item lived in Chicago and followed her there. When Alex did a poor job just right before he got sick, and maybe this is why he did a poor job, when he did a poor job shoveling Mrs. Hess's driveway, rather than not pay him at all, because he did do something, he just didn't really finish up the job, she gave him the remote control car because what does she need to do? What does she need it for? So she gave that to him as a payment, and probably, it was a very nice car. I imagine it cost more than what he charged to shovel. Anyway, he got sick, though, and wasn't really playing with it, and got stuck at home. And the thing that kept him occupied, because he had to stay in his room and be in bed, is he had a spyglass by the window, and he would look outside through it, and he saw somebody in Mrs. Hess's house, I believe.
Who?
And some burglar.
Who was it, Safi?
It was one of the burglars.
Who?
They were casing each other's houses.
Which one?
The houses, because they didn't know who had the thing exactly. They just knew it was somebody in the neighborhood, and that they lived in Chicago. Anyway, called police, and they broke the door down, but there was nobody there because the thief had left. And they got mad at him, and he got in trouble with his family because they were going to have to pay for the door, because I guess they used a big battering ram and ruined the door. So anyway, the rest of the time, I just wanted to say the movie was so simple with just this one stolen object, and with him, and he was sick, and it was. I think it was a lot better in that way because it was more simplified, and maybe it was too simple, and maybe it seemed more like a TV movie or something. But I thought it was pretty good. Alex, I thought, was a little more like he was gifted, and he was also, because of what the way he did his tricks and traps, but he was also a lot more articulate when he spoke.
Well, he didn't talk like an adult like Kevin. Like, Kevin just, like, talks like a smart-mouth adult. And then the kid in this movie, he just talks like a kid.
And when Alex, of course, figured out about, he put it together about these people, and he put together a few similar traps to what were in the previous movies. Most of them were his own, but there were a few ones. Like, one example was that he had a dummy sing in the shower.
Safi.
So anyway, the thing that was another flaw with it, besides that he wasn't really acting like he was sick, was that because Chicago has massive snowstorms, and they were having a massive snowstorm, the FBI and his dad and all the people who could come and arrest the thieves, they were having a hard time getting there because of the snowstorm. So all those tricks and traps took forever. And so to me, the end of the movie kind of dragged on a little bit. I don't think if they...
So you're saying this movie overstayed its welcome?
Well, in the end, it just went on and on, but it redeemed himself.
Movies shouldn't be more than an hour and 30 minutes, or else they'll overstay their welcome, like Home Alone 3.
Okay, well, anyway,
Right,
the
Safi?
thing that it redeemed himself, and Marco pointed out, because he had seen it before me, and so I was looking forward to seeing that, was all the thieves got chicken pox. So they showed him getting their mug shots, and they all were covered in spots. So I thought that was funny. So, Marco, what do you have to say about the movie?
Safi,
Much?
I have to talk about Home Alone 3.
Well, go ahead.
Now. Okay, everybody. I hope you're still awake. Right, Safi? Right? I mean, you have a 3-page script, and most of the script was like just straight up telling people the whole movie. Anyways.
Well, I don't think people saw it.
Well,
why would they?
Because if they watched this review, they probably would have seen it. I do. So this movie, it was trash. It was just dumb trash. Dumb kitty trash. It's like a Hallmark movie. That's why Safi likes it. She likes Hallmark movies. If this movie had the Hallmark icon on it, you believe it was a Hallmark movie. It was pretty funny, this movie, because to me, it felt like back when we watched Adventures in Baby Snatching, they actually made a TV show of the Adventures in Babysitting. Well, okay, I'll rephrase it. They only made the pilot episode, and then they ended it. And that was trash. Because it wasn't that bad, honestly. It could have gone on for a season at least. But I watched that episode, and it just felt like, okay, this is going to be every episode where they get into some antics, and then they have a little bit at the end about their characters, and that's it. That's what this movie is, Safi. It's like a long pilot episode for a Home Alone TV show. They make him like 5 years old again instead of like 13 in the sequel. Or what was he? I can't remember.
8.
No, in the sequel. In the second one. He's like
He would have been 9 or 10.
Okay. Well, instead of being that old, they make him like younger and shorter. It's really weird. Like, it's kind of bizarre, honestly. They give him Scarlett Johansson as his sister. and she's a biatch, and he has a brother, and he's a biatch too, and his mom is retarded because they have it where he gets home alone multiple times in the movie.
Which I said.
It's not just one time,
Right.
it's multiple times. That's how bad this family is.
Oh, come on.
I mean, you'd think by this point he would have already been killed by some.
He had neighbors. That's why they lived in a totally different type of neighborhood where the houses weren't as expensive and as big, and they were living on top of each other with no yards.
Mrs. Hess probably would have sold Kevin for a box of cereal because she was such a biatch. This neighborhood was kind of trash. I mean, the neighbors, they weren't really a part of the movie at all. I mean, they talked about them, but they weren't ever shown. That was kind of weird. Kind of felt like maybe they didn't have the money to hire more people to play the neighbors or something. And, but as I was saying, he's home alone multiple times. And the first time his mom is like, "But boss, I don't want to leave my son home alone. He's sick. I don't want to leave him home alone." And then guess what she does the whole movie? She just leaves him home alone again and again and again. And it's like, God, what a hypocritical biatch. Safi, you have any answer for that?
Yeah, I just don't. I didn't think she was like the mother of the other movie at all.
Well, yeah, she was better than the terrible mom from the first two movies, but that's not an improvement. I mean, the family from the first two movies was like evil, with capital E. This was a better family, I guess, if that's supposed to be something to be proud of. Like, these are such minor accomplishments, Safi. It's Home Alone 3. What did I say in Home Alone 2 would be the biggest problem? I said Home Alone 2's traps were badass, and they're not going to be able to top those traps from Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what?
No, they weren't.
They were nowhere near as good as the traps from Part 2. So therefore, this movie's trash, because half the movie was the traps. Like, literally, almost half the movie. Probably the best trap in this movie. Safi, I think, agrees with me. We'll have to get her opinion. The best trap was when there was the dog. And Kevin uses a dog whistle, or the kidnapped dog. And Kevin uses a dog whistle to make it so that the dog ties the leash around the woman's legs. And then, like, runs her and knocks her down and drags her. And I thought that was actually a really creative thing. I thought that was a cool trap. And I thought that, I honestly, I can't even remember, like, any of the other traps in the movie, basically. Like, they were so terrible. There was, like, a weird emphasis on, like, people's rear ends in this movie. Like, every single trap almost involved, like, something to do with that. And I was kind of like, this is weird. There were a lot of, like, adult jokes in the movie, too. And I thought, this is kind of weird because it seems like they replaced instead of having a lot of violence in this movie, quote unquote, they replaced the violence with the adult jokes. And honestly, this could be a good kids movie. Like, you could put this on for a kid, and they'll like it. But this is really not that good. I mean, what's there to Safi?
What?
What's there to like about this movie?
I just thought it was simple and to the point.
Okay, it's a simple movie. Wow, what an accomplishment. Nah, this movie's stupid. It's like a dumb... you know what, we're going to rate this movie in terms of food now. I give this movie... I've never had SpaghettiOs before, but this fucking movie's like a bowl of SpaghettiOs. Like, seriously, it's so simple and kiddish and dull and dumb. Like, I can barely remember it because it was just so dumb. And it's just, you know, this shouldn't have been a Home Alone movie, too. Like, there's no connection to the first two movies, so why would you even be calling this Home Alone? You know, at least have, like, one connection. Like, have it be where, I don't know, have the burglars be relatives of the thieves or something. I don't know. Some sort of connection. But there's none. There's no connection. It's just called Home Alone 3 to get you to see it. And the villains weren't good either. I mean, the villains were bad. And what did we say, Safi? We said the first two movies would be trash unless Harry and Marv were in it. And Harry and Marv aren't in this movie.
No.
And guess what? It's trash. And so I would say that overall, like, this was a really, really mediocre movie and not a good sequel at all. And so I don't know what kind of crack Safi's smoking that she likes this movie. It's probably going to be in her top 10 of the year. I hope not, because that'll be her final embarrassment. So, Safi, what would you rate this movie in terms of food now that you're sleeping?
I'm not sleeping, I'm listening.
Really?
Yeah, but better hurry up, though.
I've already hurried up. Safi, you hurry up with your...
Okay, you want me to give the rating?
Yeah, give
Okay.
your rating.
I gave it a single small chocolate cupcake with sour cream chocolate frosting.
Ooh.
I thought it was sweet and simple, but there's no decoration on it. That's for the flaws of it dragging on too long, and the fact that he did not show that he was ill at all, not one bit.
There were some good things about it, though, I guess.
I think there was.
There were some good touches.
I think it was good to take a kid to.
There were some nice touches, like just little things that were nice, but a couple of good little things don't add up to make a good movie. Like, you gotta have a good full movie. You can't just say, like, oh, I like that part where... Because I liked it at the end where all the criminals had chicken pox, too.
That was a creative way to end it.
Yeah, because...
I never even thought they would.
It was cool how much they showed of, like, the people, like, what... Because it felt, too, like they were kind of addressing and fixing some of the complaints about the first and second movie. Because, like, they showed the criminals at their criminal lair. They showed more of the family, kind of. They showed the criminals at the end in prison, basically, and how they've been affected by the injuries. And the injuries are sort of realistic in a way that the ones from the first two would have been lethal. So it's pretty interesting, but overall, like, this is just a childish, mediocre movie. Like, I don't think there's anything to celebrate here, even though Safi thinks this movie's God's gift to the universe.
No, I didn't. I never said that at all.
Okay, I'm just making
You're,
sure.
and putting words into my mouth that
No, I'm not.
never said.
No, I'm not.
I just said it was an adequate movie.
It's adequate.
Because I didn't think it was...
Well,
I thought it was trash. I mean, before I saw it, I thought, why are they making this movie? What are they going to do? Have Kevin's family go to Brazil or something? Or have him go to Brazil and they'll get lost from each other?
But I'm still asking that question of why they made this movie. Like, this wasn't a good Home Alone 3.
Well, we were talking about this and we were thinking maybe they should have named it something else.
Yeah, that's what I said.
But I don't know.
You know what this movie reminded me of, Safi?
You're trying to get the kickback from the previous people who watched the movies.
You're trying to make money. Like, off. You can make money with a good original movie. Like the original Home Alone. Okay? You should have... You know what this movie really reminded me of, though, now that I think about it? Remember Baby Geniuses, where there's that part where the babies are at home and like those bad guys come and they're disguised as construction workers. I was going to say destruction workers. And they walk up the stairs and they have the whole plank trap and everything. That's what this whole movie was like that one sequence from Baby Geniuses, which, by the way, Safi, is Baby Geniuses your favorite movie of all time?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I don't like that movie
I'm just checking.
very much. I probably would have given it a C.
So, everybody, what should they do, Safi?
Hey, hit the like button if you liked our little audio video, and also, well, that's what it is basically. And also, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We enjoy having new subscribers, and I hope you all are having a happy holiday. It's been pretty stressful for me.
Not a happy holiday, a Merry Christmas, Safi.
Well, whatever, because we're not even on Christmas yet. I hope you all are doing good now, making cookies, putting up lights, decorating a tree, doing cards, just making candy, whatever. So I hope you all are having a good time.
Goodbye, everybody!
Bye.